All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's another flashback, throwback, retro review for you guys. We are Falcon Crest. We are now in season 2. And I told you guys at the end of season 1, honey, things were going to change. We had a new character coming in who was going to shake some shit up, all right? So when we left off, Melissa was pregnant now. When we left off, Melissa was pregnant but wasn't showing. We didn't came back. Melissa looked like she about to drop that damn baby. But they acted like everything else happened 2 weeks ago. So, child, look, whatever. You know how shows go. You know how this thing happens. They needed Melissa. Look, they couldn't go through 9 months of Melissa being pregnant. They needed Melissa to have that baby quick. So she came back. She was pregnant. She was, yeah. Remember, we got the early 80s fashions of maternity wear, which basically was just a bunch of muumuus for Melissa. She too fashionable for these muumuus they got her in, honey. I hope that she going to have this baby quick so she can get back into her fashions. So, we start off, we have, Chase and the family. They're down. They get ready to sit down to breakfast. They get a phone call that Gus has been in a really bad accident. Now, if you remember Gus, Gus is Chase's right-hand man, the guy that really helped him get Falcon Crest together when he got there at the beginning of the season. And so they all rush off to the hospital. Remember, Vicky's dating his son, Mario, I believe, and they all rush off to the hospital. Now, up to the Falcon Crest, we have Angela sitting by the poolside with Melissa and with Philip. And, of course, they still trying to get this whole situation done with the globe. And Melissa is golding Angela, talking about something. Well, I wonder why Richard hasn't shown up, your stepson. Angela was like, he ain't my step nothing. Okay, I don't know him. I ain't know nothing about him. I don't know that man. Okay? And Melissa is like, oh, well, why do you think that Douglas didn't leave you the newspaper? And, just golden, just poking, throwing salt on it, right? And they still looking for the father. They still trying to figure out how they can still get control of the globe. Then they get to talking about Chase. And Philip reminds Angela, like, listen, she said, I know any day now Chase is just going to show up and try to take over Falcon Crest. And Philip was like, well, I mean, at the end of the day, he has a right to all of it. Like, you really just need to be nice and play nice with him because he's really doing you a favor. Well, of course, Angela ain't trying to hear that. And Angela was like, listen, Chase need to stay at the bottom of the hill where he been. And he need to leave me alone. I know I killed his daddy. Well, covered it up. And I know what the will says. But understand, I have no intention of giving Chase nothing. So, we see Julia had this conversation with Emma. Y'all, Emma's still tripping. Emma got an atlas out, and Emma said she is on her way on a trip. She said that she has the proxy now to her shares. And she is going to get up out of there. Emma is planning her getaway, okay? And nobody's believing her. They all laughing at her. They all think it's a joke. And Emma is like, I'm serious. Like, I'm getting up out of here. Like, I'm not doing this with y'all no more. She was like, I don't even like y'all like that. They said, because Julie was trying to get Emma to come down to breakfast. Emma said, She said, I'm hungry until I get to the table and I got to look at y'all's faces. She was like, Lance is rude. Okay? Melissa is two-faced. She said, you are moody. Okay. Then there's Mother. I don't even want to get started on her. I ain't got time for none of y'all hoes. I'm getting up out of here. Julia laughs and walks off. Emma was like, all right, you can keep thinking it's a joke if you want to. So Julia ends up going out by the pool and they're having breakfast. And here come Lance, honey. Lance come pulling up in his new Ferrari. Lance been out all night. And, of course, Melissa is trying to save a little bit of face. And she was like, where have you been? And he was like, I had a prior engagement. What's up? And she was like, you can't keep treating me like this. You can't keep, And then she tries to put on a show for Angela. And Angela comes over there to talk to Lance or whatever. But y'all, listen. Angela could care less about Lance being happy. Or really Melissa being happy for that matter. She got what she wanted. And as far as she's concerned, it's a done deal. So, Charlie ends up coming out. And, I'm sorry. Charlie ends up coming out and lets him know that Gus has been in an accident. He's at the hospital. So they all go to the hospital. She tells Lance, you taking me to the hospital. They get to the hospital. Come to find out there was an explosion. Gus had hit a gas line looking for some irrigation. Honey, it blew him up. He died. Of course, Mario is devastated. Chase is hurt. He said, that was my first real friend I made in the valley. And, Angela is there talking about if there's anything I can do. And so they all walk off, whatever. And that daggone Angela, Lance gonna say, so, like, why do we care so much about Gus? And Angela was like, listen, their family has been a part of this valley for years. Like, it's out of respect that we're here. He was like, yeah, but this leaves, Chase pretty vulnerable. Like, he wouldn't have been able to run that venue without Gus, which is true. So Angela was like, you know what? It does, doesn't it? Now, in the meantime and in between time, like I said, y'all, we went from um Melissa being, like I said, not showing at all to Melissa being 8 months pregnant. She's in town, and who sees her walking around waddle waddle? Cole. Now she tries to cover it up and get in the car real quick, but child, like I said, she 8 months pregnant. You can't hide it. Cole looked at her and looked at her belly and looked at her and was like, we need to talk, because he can do math. Okay, he can add, subtract, carry the one. He know what the deal is. He might not know 100% that he the daddy, but what he does know is that he is in the ballpark. Okay, he is in the running. He is on the bench. I don't know. So she was like, "We ain't got nothing to talk about, Cole. How you doing, peace?" And he was like, "Good. What's good?" And she's like, "It's nothing for you to worry about. Nothing here to see, child." So Chase goes to visit Angela. He was like, it's about time that I go ahead and put my foot down about this whole situation. I've been real nice, but now it's time for me, because they agreed that they were going to split Falcon Crest 50-50 instead of him pushing the wheel and getting 100% of Falcon Crest. So Angela was like, Chase, like, I ain't really mean what I said. Like, I thought that we agreed that I would run Falcon Crest and you would be just like, your name would be on like the letterhead or something. But I never had any intention of letting you really run nothing over here. You know that. Stop playing. And Chase was like, yeah, but that's not what I agreed to. That's not what we said. So, yeah, I'm going to be up there tomorrow. And I'm going to need me an office. So, cool. So Angela goes to talk to Lance and tells Lance, it's about time. I told you that I would promote you to general manager if you marry Melissa. He was like, yeah. So I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. And he was like, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. All this happened after the actual funeral for Gus. And Vicky, is trying to force herself up on Mario. And Mario is kind of shutting her out. And her mama is telling her, girl, don't push. He just lost his daddy. He got a lot going on. He knows that you here. And he'll reach out to you when he's ready. But everybody got to grieve differently. And, don't press too hard. You might regret it. You don't want to push him. You might regret that. So, of course, Vicky being Vicky, y'all know she don't listen, right? Y'all know Vicky don't listen. So, I'm going to just go ahead and knock Vicky out the way, child. So, Vicky done went and tried to have a meeting with him, tried to talk to him. And he told her, he was like, listen, my mother decided to go on down to San Diego. I had to drive her down there. Now, they said that, like, Napa Valley and San Diego is a couple of hours away. That's a hump. No, he said he had to take her to the airport. My bad. I take that back. He didn't say he drove her. He said he had to take her to the airport. So, Vicky was like, well, so that means we're alone? Girl, he just lost his daddy. He ain't thinking about all that. She's like, it's been a long time since we've had some alone time. But, girl, did your mother not say, leave that man alone? Like, stop it. He gonna be like, you know what, Vicky? Like, my dad worked his ass off his whole life, and basically he died a field worker. I done been to college. I got some education. I can do better, and I refuse to be what my dad was. And I can do the things that my dad wanted to do. He wanted to make this valley better. He wanted to work for his people, and I'm going to do that. And, we all deal with that when we have a close death. We all think about our life in perspective, and especially if you lose somebody you looked up to and you feel like their life work wasn't done, you want to take that mantle on. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing, and that doesn't mean that, it's bad, good or bad, successful or failure. We go through that. And that's what her mother was trying to tell her, was like, listen, he got a process. And that's a part of his process, And of course she was like, well, where does that leave me? Girl, he was like, yeah, I don't have all those answers right now. But right now, what I do know is I got to figure some stuff out for myself. I said, Vicky, if you don't go sit yourself up, y'all know I don't like her. Y'all know I don't like her. They gave her a new perm and a little bit of color. They tamed her hair a little bit more this season, but it is the same Vicky. And she is still getting on my nerves. So whatever. So I got her out the way. We just done with her. Let's get back to Chase and Angela and Lance. So Angela tells Lance, listen, I'll make you the general manager, but your first job is to make sure that Lance never steps foot in Falcon Crest, okay? Like, he about to set up an office, and he think that this about to be like a whole situation, and it's not, and I need you to take care of that, because I got to deal with this paper, okay? I'm still trying to figure out who the hell Richard Channing is, when he's showing up, how he's showing up. Oh, yeah. And I need you to get your proxy from your damn mama, because I need to be in control of their share of the paper. They don't know what they're doing, okay? You need to get your proxy. I got to get Emma's proxy. It is what it is. So Chase shows up the next day, honey. He done got his stuff packed up, ready for his office. He got a chair and everything. I said, you better go ahead, Chase, with your own damn. He gonna show up with his own chair on the back of the pickup. And of course, Lance is so simple. He thought that just by locking the door, it was gonna stop Chase from getting in there. So Lance is outside with the workers, and Chase is like, yo, I need you to open the door. And Lance is like, listen, grandmother, you know that this ain't about to happen. Like, going back down to your little vineyard down at the bottom of the hill and just be good. Like, be cool. It's all good. Chase was like, Lance, if you don't open this door and get some people to help me bring my shit in the what are you? And honey, this how stupid Lance is. Honey, Lance done left the daggone keys sitting right there. He gonna pick up the keys and open the door and let himself in. And Lance is still trying to stop him from getting in there. And he said, listen, let me explain something to you. This what you don't understand. At this point, you work for me, sir. You are the general manager of a vineyard that I have 50% of. You work for me. So you're not going to tell me what you will and will not do. And you do not have to defer to your grandmother for everything, because I am your boss too. So with that being said, go get some people to help me unpack my shit. Find me an office, set up a phone line, and I'll be back tomorrow to start working. Of course, he tries to go to Julia. Julia was like, yeah, I heard about you trying to stop Lance from getting up in, Chase for getting up in the vineyard. She was like, listen, let that go. It is what it is. Stop fighting grandmother's battles for her. Let that go. Honey, Lance tries to give her an old song and dance about we can work together, we can team up together. You know I love you, mother. She said, boy, you can't have my proxy. I know what that is. I know what kind of power it brings. It gives me a sense of independence that I've been wanting my whole life. What you not gonna do is convince me to give it to you. Like, I see you coming a mile away. You ain't never been concerned about being my son and us having this great relationship before. Now all of a sudden you work, boy, bye. Go on, sit down. She was not fooled. And I said, I know that's right, Julia, because sometimes Julia just ain't that damn bright. Anyway, because earlier in the episode, Emma told her, why don't you just go ahead and go find your husband, go live with him and be happy. Like, why are you here with us? Anyway, now we back up in San Francisco, and Angela is with Philip, and once again, they are trying to figure out what the deal is with Richard Channing. They're trying to figure out who his mother is. Julie, because Angela was like, listen, my husband cheated on me with somebody, and I need to know who that woman is, because I am owed some retribution. Somebody gonna pay me for my pain. Somebody's gonna pay me for my pain and suffering, because this woman was with my husband, and I don't appreciate it. So they trying to get some information on this mysterious Richard Channing. Okay, so let's go to Richard Channing for a moment. Richard Channing, what we know about him is he was adopted at the age of 4, so he don't know who his mama is either. Okay, they said that he has spent $500,000 looking for his damn mama, and he still don't know who she is. Honey, we gonna get to that. We see Richard meet up with his adoptive father. Now listen, I'm gonna cut through all of the innuendo, the mysterious talking, and the cold conversation. Let's just cut to the chase. He was adopted into like a cartel type family, okay? He works for them. They gave him the best education. They gave him the best of everything with the expectation that he will work for them. Now, his adoptive daddy is just that. He ain't trying to be, daddy of the year. His thing is, I raised you to take care of the business that pays us. And he was like, I don't understand why you want this little newspaper out, in California. Newspapers don't even make that much money. We got bigger fish to fry. And he said, yes. He said, but I can make it money. He said, and my stepmama, which, like I said, Angela don't think of him as no step nothing. He said, my stepmother owns, half of the Napa Valley. Like, and she's a very powerful woman, and maybe this will be my way to get my foot into, the wine business, which brings a whole nother set of situation. We got more money. We have, tax shelters, all this stuff. And he was like, listen, I tell you what, Richard, I'm going to go ahead and let you go out there, and I'm going to let you try to get something set up. He said, but if you don't bring me some money like like what you promising to bring me, we're going to have a problem. And I'm going to bring your ass back here, and you owe me. And he said, so I'll have my freedom. He was like, you'll have your freedom unless you disappoint me. Then it's going to be right back here. So you get the impression that he is connected and tied to this conglomerate situation. Now, the other thing, this becomes important. It doesn't seem important right now, but it becomes important later on in the season. Maggie is writing a screenplay. Okay, she's working on a screenplay that nobody's really paying a lot of attention to, but keep your eye on it. Angela is trying to get this proxy from Emma. And once again, Emma is no fool. Okay, Emma plays stupid, but she ain't dumb. And she tells her mother, listen, I already know what power this proxy holds for me. And I look forward. She said, well, you don't want to go to these boring shareholder meetings. She was like, yes, I do. They sound like fun. Emma is sitting there reading all these books on cars and travel and stuff like that. Like I said, they're not paying attention to Emma. And Angela was like, well, where you get these books from? She was like, the library. She said, well, you got this book about cars. What do you know about cars? She was like, that's just it. I don't. That's why I got a book. Y'all don't be paying attention to Emma. Emma ain't stupid. So let's go on and talk about Chase. So anyway, Richard is on his way, right? Daddy agrees to give Richard the money, let him take, an employee with him and to go get it set up. And so next thing you know, we see Richard sending a memo to the editor of the Globe saying, I am on my way. I will be there. I expect to see you soon. Now, Melissa and Lance, that marriage is just horrible. And she says, listen, we got to go over to my father's house for breakfast. Lance said, no, you got to go to your daddy's house for breakfast. I'm sitting right here. I'm doing what I do. And she was like, how dare you do that? My father's expecting us. You know what's up. And he was like, listen, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I told you before we got married that I was going to keep doing me and you can keep doing you. And I don't know why you think it's going to be anything different. Like, I told you what this was. And now you done popped up with this little pregnancy that ain't my baby. You know it ain't my baby and I know it ain't my baby. Like, you going to really, boy, girl, go sit down. So, okay, so I'm almost done, y'all. We almost done. So, anyway. So, Melissa ends up going to her dad's house for breakfast. And she's telling him how horrible they're treating her. And he was like, you know what? That's not cool. I don't really appreciate it. He was like, you need to just come on and move back home. Like, this isn't working. And she was like, and give up Falcon Crest? And he just kind of gave her that look like, oh, yeah, that's right. So he said, but I'm going to talk to Angela because I really don't appreciate the way you're being treated. Like, Lance know better, and I'm not going to deal with it. So, honey, Colden showed up to the house because he called up the Falcon Crest, and Lance told him, listen, she is over her daddy's house. Go find her. Matter of fact, I hope y'all work things out because he know that's going to get him off the hook because he want to be taken off the hook. Let me see. So of course y'all know that her daddy don't like him at all in any way, shape, or form. So the daddy come out there and was like, I told you not to come to my house. What are you doing here? And Cole was like, listen, I just want to talk to Melissa. Me and her need to have a conversation. And he was like, you don't need to talk to my daughter about nothing. And he was like, but I do. We need to talk about that damn baby. Honey, he done punched Cole talking about what you trying to say? You trying to accuse my daughter of not being faithful to her wedding vows? No, the sad thing is that she been faithful to her wedding vows, but she was pregnant before she took them vows, and you know it. And you know your daughter's a hoe, so stop playing. Honey, Cole was like, listen, you an old man, so I'm not going to punch you back. Like, you ain't just going to be punching me all in my face. You an old man, I'm going to let you go on and have that. But please know that one way or another, I'm gonna have that conversation with Melissa. We're gonna find out who the hell that baby belonged to, bruh. Now, while this is going on, Maggie and Chase done went to see a lawyer, which is what Chase should have done to begin with. Like, you've been dealing with Angela long enough to know that Angela is not gonna play fair. I don't know what the hell made you think that Angela was gonna play fair. So they done went to see a lawyer, honey, and they done went back up to Falcon Crest, right? And of course now it's Angela, Lance, and Philip. And, Cole is like, listen. Chase is like, listen, we're going to get this office. I don't understand what your issue is. And, they end up having this whole argument back and forth about what he not going to do at Falcon Crest and what he is going to do at Falcon Crest. And Philip says, listen, maybe, we should go and we should retain a lawyer and let cooler heads prevail and really sit down and make up an agreement. And Chase was like, you know what? It is funny that you say that, because that's exactly what we did. And he has the whole contract written down. And Philip was like, well, this is a lot to take in. Chase was like, it is a lot to take in, but you need to go ahead and sign it now. Angela was like, or else. He said, or else I'm going to head on over to the district attorney and let them move forward with the criminal case against you. She said, well, the courts are funny things. I could walk away scot-free. He said, you know what? You could, or you could get convicted. I'm willing to take that chance. Are you? Philip gave Angela that look like, he said, funny things happen in court. Honey, Angela signed that daggone contract. Honey, Lance was sitting there looking like, are you? He said, so now the first paragraph of the contract says, I need some office space. So get it. Go find me some place to set up my office. Baby, Angela was not happy at all, honey. Do you hear me? Angela, Philip said, well, I guess Chase won that. Angela was like, won. I have yet begun to fight, baby, and that's where it ended. Y'all know this about to be ugly. We got Richard Channing, we got Angela and Chase. It's a lot. This season is, y'all, stick with me. They're gonna come out a little bit faster, but y'all stick with me. Anyway, let me know what you think. Drop it in those comments. Peace.